Consult. People whose feedback is needed before decisions are made. In this slide, we're highlighting the consult role. These are individuals whose input is crucial, especially when making key decisions. It's important to engage them early to avoid rework or misaligned decisions later. To create a RASIC matrix, the first step is to build a work breakdown structure, WBS, and identify all related tasks or work packages. Once that's done, the team should identify who plays each role in relation to those tasks, ensuring there's no ambiguity around responsibilities. This matrix promotes clarity, accountability, and smooth collaboration, which are essential for project success. In summary, the RASIC matrix is a simple yet effective tool to ensure everyone knows their role in delivering the project. The ARMI model is a valuable tool for clarifying roles in any project, especially in Lean Six Sigma and broader project management efforts. It helps define who is involved, to what extent, and how they contribute. ARMI stands for A. Approval. This is the person who makes high-level decisions that go beyond the team's authority, often a sponsor or senior leader. R. Resource. These are subject matter experts or influencers who may not be core team members but provide critical support when needed. M. Member. Active project team members who work within the scope of the project charter and contribute directly to deliverables. I. Interested party. Stakeholders who are not directly involved but must be kept informed because their future support or input could be important. By mapping out roles using ARMI, we avoid confusion, ensure proper communication, and make sure everyone knows their level of engagement from the start. It's a simple model that delivers clarity and alignment across the project. Communication plan. An effective communication plan is critical to project success. It ensures that the right information reaches the right people, at the right time, and in the right format. Start by identifying the key information that needs to be shared. This could include project updates, risks, decisions, changes, or milestones. Next, determine who needs this information: stakeholders, team members, sponsors, or external partners, and how frequently they need to receive it. Then, align your communication with the project milestones. This allows for timely updates that reflect the project's progress and any major developments. Finally, define how the communication will happen, whether it's via meetings, reports, dashboards, emails, or presentations. By planning communication up front, we reduce misunderstandings, ensure transparency, and keep everyone engaged and aligned throughout the project. Clear communication is essential for any project's success. It ensures the right people receive the right information at the right time, helping them make informed decisions and minimizing confusion or delays. To build an effective communication plan, first, identify what information needs to be shared. Then define who needs it, how often, and in what format, whether that's meetings, emails, dashboards, or reports. Align your communication strategy with the project timeline and milestones, so updates are timely and relevant. It's especially important to keep stakeholders informed about the critical path, as delays here can impact the entire project. Tools like Gantt charts can help visualize and communicate this clearly. Strong communication not only builds trust and accountability, but also strengthens teamwork and keeps the project moving toward on-time delivery. This slide presents a communication plan template, a critical tool for ensuring effective communication throughout the project lifecycle. It outlines what needs to be communicated, how, to whom, by whom, and how often. Let's walk through each column. Activities. What? This includes key communication touchpoints like status updates, plan updates, scope changes, meeting invites, document to be used, specifies the format or template to be used for each activity. This promotes consistency and clarity in communication. For example, a status report template for updates, a change request form for scope changes. Mode of communication. Email is the primary method here, but this can be adapted depending on project needs, such as instant messaging or in-person briefings. Audience, who, identifies the client SPOC, single point of contact, as the main recipient of all communications, ensuring accountability and reducing confusion. Owner assigns the AIG project to SPOC as responsible for sending out each communication, again reinforcing ownership and responsibility. Frequency. Communications follow a structured schedule or trigger-based frequency. Regular updates are sent as per the rules of engagement detailed in the project charter. Scope changes are communicated as and when identified. This template helps ensure that everyone is aligned, updates are timely, and no critical communication falls through the cracks. It's a foundational element in strong project governance. Create COPIS. Let's look at a foundational tool in Six Sigma projects. SIPOCs, or sometimes referred to as COPIAs. SIPOC stands for Supplier, Input, Process, Output, and Customer. COPIS is the same model, just written in reverse, customer first, to emphasize a customer-centric approach. This tool is used to create a high-level process map, typically focusing on the 4 to 5 most critical steps in a process. It's especially helpful at the start of a project to provide a broad overview, particularly for participants who may not be familiar with the specific area being analyzed. By mapping the suppliers, the inputs they provide, the process steps, the outputs, and finally, the customers, we get a structured view of how value flows through the system. Whether you use SIPOC or COPIS depends on organizational preference, but the goal is the same: to gain a clear shared understanding of the current process before diving into deeper analysis. This sets a strong foundation for identifying improvement opportunities that align with customer needs and business objectives. This slide introduces the SIPOC diagram, an essential high-level tool used in process mapping during the early stages of process improvement initiatives. SIPOC stands for S, Supplier. These are the individuals, teams, or organizations that provide the necessary inputs to the process. I. Inputs are the resources, such as materials, information, or data, needed to execute the process. P. Process. This is the core activity or sequence of steps that transform inputs into outputs. It should be described at a high level, typically in 5 to 7 steps. O. Output. Outputs are the products, services, or results that the process generates. C. Customers are the recipients of the process output, internal or external stakeholders who benefit from or use the product or service. Using a SIPOC diagram helps teams and stakeholders develop a shared understanding of a process before diving into detailed analysis. It provides clarity on scope and ensures that no key element is overlooked. This slide introduces the COPIS model, which is essentially the reverse of the SIPOC model. COPIS stands for C. Customer, O. Output, P. Process, I. Input, S. Supplier. While the components are the same as SIPOC, the order in COPIS is reversed. This reversal is intentional. It starts with the customer, highlighting a customer-first approach. There is no functional difference between SIPOC and COPIS in terms of their use. The choice of one over the other often comes down to organizational preference. Some companies prefer COPIS to better align with their customer-centric philosophy and messaging. Using COPIS helps teams design or evaluate processes with the end user in mind from the outset, ensuring outputs and process improvements are driven by customer needs and expectations. This slide illustrates a practical example of the COPIS model applied to an IT support process. We begin with the customer, in this case, an AIG employee, who is the recipient of the service. Next is the output, which is the incident resolution or the problem/change being managed. This is the outcome the customer expects. The process describes the high-level steps. The employee encounters an issue with an IT asset. They log a ticket in the InfraCentral system. The IT team acknowledges the ticket based on its severity. The issue is eventually resolved, and the ticket is closed. Then we look at the input. What starts this process? It's the issue reported via InfraCentral, phone, or email. Finally, the supplier here is the IT infra team who provides the support and manages the resolution. This example showcases how COPIS focuses on the end-to-end process, beginning with the customer's perspective, aligning the steps, inputs, and contributors around delivering value to that customer. It also reinforces the importance of structured workflows in delivering timely and effective service support. Project milestones. Milestones are key checkpoints in a project's timeline. They represent significant moments or events, like completing a major phase, hitting a critical deadline, or delivering an important output. Milestones are especially helpful for those tracking progress because they give a big-picture view of whether the project is on schedule and meeting expectations. However, it's important to clearly define these milestones. If they're vague or too broad, smaller but important, tasks can be missed because they might not be reviewed at each checkpoint. Think of milestones as times to pause, review the original plan, check in on status, and ask, are we on track? Are there delays or risks? Do we need to adjust anything? They also provide an opportunity to spot issues early, make course corrections, and ensure the project stays aligned with its goals. In short, well-defined milestones support better decision-making, stronger accountability, and smoother project delivery. Milestones serve as important reference points in a project. They mark significant events or achievements that help us measure progress over time. In Lean Six Sigma projects, milestones often align with the completion of each DMI phase. Define, measure, analyze, improve, and control. When setting these milestones, consider the effort involved, the availability and flow of data, and be sure that goals are ambitious but realistic. If you're using tools like a network diagram, it's a good practice to align milestones with critical path activities. This helps improve visibility and tracking and ensures timely course correction if needed. Ultimately, milestones give us a structured way to manage time, resources, and risks, helping the team stay focused and on schedule. This slide presents a sample timeline of project milestones across the DMAEC phases: define, measure, analyze, improve, and control, spanning a 5-month period. Let's walk through it. The green bars represent the duration of each DMAEC phase. Red arrows and labels indicate key milestones or phase gates where formal reviews and approvals occur. Starting with M1, marks the closure of the define phase, including the charter sign-off by the project sponsor, Harsh. M2 indicates the end of the measure phase, confirming that data collection and baseline metrics are complete. M3 signifies the completion of the analyze phase, where root causes have been validated. M4 represents the closure of the improve phase with implemented solutions and demonstrated improvements. M5 marks the end of the control phase, confirming that the process changes are stable and sustainable. This structured milestone review ensures timely progress, stakeholder engagement, and accountability throughout the project lifecycle. It also helps manage expectations and keeps the team aligned with the overall timeline. Benefits. In this slide, we explore how to measure the benefits of a project, which is a critical step in justifying the effort and resources required for project execution. We begin with a key point. Quantifying project benefits is not just about showcasing success at the end. It's also about securing project approval at the beginning. Decision-makers often need to see the potential value before committing to a project. Benefits can be measured using various quantitative and qualitative factors, including cost reductions, which involve savings from fewer defects, less rework, and reduced rejections. Increased efficiency, typically reflected in faster workflows or better use of resources, often measurable in financial terms. Enhanced productivity, especially noticeable in transactional or unit-based pricing models where output per unit of input is crucial. Improved outcome realization, particularly under outcome-based pricing models, where value is tied to results. Reduced time to completion, which is especially important in environments with tight deadlines or high opportunity costs. Lower input and resource costs, such as savings on labor, materials, or utilities. These benefits not only justify the project, but also provide benchmarks for evaluating success after implementation.